What's going on, everybody? Tom here with Keto Lifestyle, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to estimate your body fat percentage. Now, this can be a little bit tricky because there's only a couple good ways to actually find your body fat percentage, but the ways I'm going to show you are just going to be things you can do at home. Now, the only true way to do it is to go get something called a DEXA scan, which they effectively x-ray your whole body and measure the fat everywhere. They're about $150 here where I live in Las Vegas, so I've never done one. I want to do one once I get a little bit leaner, but these ways around the house, if I find an average of all of them, tend to do the trick. So, number one we're going to talk about is body analyzer scales. Now, these things aren't the most accurate, and there's a few reasons we'll get into, but the first thing is, how do they work? Well, they work off a principle called bioelectrical impedance, and that's just a big fancy way of saying that they're going to send an electrical pulse through your body. And if it's in your hands, it pretty much travels through your hands. If it's through your feet, it travels up your leg and down your other leg. Electricity always follows the path of least resistance, right? Now, this current that the scale puts through your body actually travels faster through water and muscle than it does through fat, which is how it works. It measures the time it takes the current to leave one foot and reach the other. Now, this is great and it can give you a good estimate, but the problem with this is that things such as calluses on your feet, having sweaty feet, carrying your body fat in different places, things like that can really mess with it. If you carry your weight in your lower body and your upper body is shredded, you're going to get a higher body fat percentage than you probably actually are. But again, it's a good way to estimate things. Now, I actually have my scale right here. I pulled it out of my bathroom, and just to kind of give you guys an estimate of where I am, I'm going to turn it on, and thankfully this thing has a memory function, so I don't have to go into the bathroom and weigh myself. So let me just hit this here, and you can kind of see what it says for me currently. So I'm 18.5% body fat at 218.6 pounds. Is that 100% accurate? Probably not, but you'll see when we get into some of the other methods that it's probably pretty close. Method number two that I want to talk about is do it visually. So basically you're going to look at your body in the mirror and then compare it to a chart similar to the one that I'm going to put on the screen right now, and kind of just visually estimate where you are. Usually these charts will come in a 5% gap range, and you'll find one for men, you'll find one for women. You can kind of look at the pictures and see, okay, do I demonstrate more of these characteristics or more of these characteristics? And that'll give you a good place. For me, I tend to fall in that 15-ish% range when I'm looking at this chart right here. Now, this is very subjective and everybody carries their weight differently, so it may not be a fantastic way to do it, but if you have nothing else, it's a good way to at least kind of know roughly where you're at. Now, the third way that I'm going to talk about here is using body fat calipers. They kind of look like this, and basically you're going to squeeze parts of fat on your body. It's going to give you a reading, and you'll plug it into a formula online to do it. Now, I'll show you how I do mine right now, and again, we'll get a reading from me, and we'll kind of check everything at the end. But I will link in the description a website where you can punch in these numbers if you have one of these, or they usually come with a little card that tells you what to do. So let's step into me pinching myself. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky to do to myself, but for a man, you're going to measure in 3 places. You're going to aim to pinch right here, and then on your thigh as well. So we're going to take my chest and stomach readings now, and then we'll get my thigh reading in just a second. So you're going to want to aim about halfway between your nipple and your armpit, and you're going to pinch at an angle like this. Now, I don't carry a lot of fat in my chest, but I should have enough to get the reading. And you want to get about an inch of skin kind of protruding up. So this reading here, if you can see it, is right around 11. So my chest right here is 11, and every time I've measured it, it comes out to 11. But usually I'll do 2 or 3 spots just to kind of verify. This one's at between 10 and 11. And we're right around 11 again. So I know I can say that I'm around 11 right here. The next place that we're going to measure is going to be on the same side, about an inch to the side of your belly button. And again, you're going to want to get about an inch of fat there. So I'm going to do that, pinch, and grab. So as you guys can see, hopefully, that's around 15. So I'm going to put my thumb right where it is, and then I'm going to tilt it to show you guys. I'm right around 15 there. So I'm not going to bother boring you guys and doing it a few more times. You can take a few readings to make sure. So I'm 11 up on my breast and a 15 on my side here. So time to get the thigh measurement. Alright, so for your thigh measurement, you're going to want to go on the same side, but you're going to want to go halfway between your hip and your kneecap. I like to use my hands as a guide. So I'll go one hand, two hand. It's about 2.5 hands to get to my knee, right? So I'm gonna go 1.5 hands. So right here is where I'm gonna pinch. Now you're gonna wanna go vertically like this, and then just kind of get your caliper on it. So I'll try to do this in a way you can see it. And once it kind of is done grabbing, I'm sitting around 13 or 14. Let's try that one more time because I could feel it slipping just ever so slightly. So grab it, pinch, and that's coming in around 15. So I'm gonna take the worst reading, so my thigh is 15. So just to review, my measurements were 11, 15, or 11 on my breast, 15 on my stomach, and 15 on my thigh. So I'm gonna hop into the computer here and plug all that data in. Alright guys, so we are here in my computer, and this is a bodybuilding.com fat calculator based on your skin fold pinch test. So I'm going to fill in my information. I am currently 23 years old. I weigh 218 pounds. And the skin fold one I'm going to do as my breast, and that was 11. Now my stomach was 15, and my thigh was 15. So I hit calculate here. It's saying I'm 11.6% body fat. I don't necessarily believe that. And while we're on this topic, let me talk about how this test actually works. Effectively, what it does is it measures the thickness of the fat underneath your skin, and kind of based on the thickness of the fat, it can determine how much you have on your body. Again, I'm not the best person at pinch tests. I may be doing something slightly wrong with it, but it does give you an estimate. There are people out there, such as trainers at your gym, that may have a more accurate pinching device as well. I feel like mine might pinch a little too hard because I've had it done at gyms before, and it definitely doesn't squeeze as hard as the one that I have. So keep that in mind when you look at these numbers. Now the final way that I want to talk about for measuring your body fat is using what's called the Navy formula. And I will link in the description where you can find this. But effectively all you're going to need for that is a measuring device. Now this one's really cool because I can pull it out and it links onto itself. And then I can just like retract it and it kind of locks as I let go of the button. But you're going to need 2 measurements for this as a man. As a woman, things are a little bit different, but it'll walk you through it on the website. So as a man, I'm going to measure my neck and my waist. So we'll do my neck right here. So it's at the narrowest point of your neck is where you want to do it. So I'll just push the button. Once it's snug, I will let go. And as you can see, let me pull it out a little so you can see it. If it wants to focus, hold on. Let me see if this will do it. So you can see I'm 16, right on the dot there. So now let's get my stomach. Now this measurement is going to be your stomach right across your navel here. So I'm going to pull the tape out and then collapse it on my hip here, and let's just make sure that's kind of straight. And then I will remove it. And you guys can see I'm right around 36, if that wants to focus for you guys. It's locked right there, but so we'll just call it 36. So time to jump back into my computer and plug it all into the formula. Alright guys, so here we are, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this form for you. So I am a male. I'm 218 pounds. I am 6 feet and 4 inches tall. We took my waist measurement at my navel at 36 and my neck at 16 at the narrowest. So when you click out of it, it'll calculate. So this is pegging me at 16% body fat. Now, if you remember previously, my body analyzer scale said I was 18.5. My pinch test said I was almost 12. Visually, we estimated me at 15. And now this is saying that I'm around 16%. So let's get out of this computer here and talk about what we're seeing and why we're seeing it that way. So as you can see, there's a wide range of numbers that I'm getting here, ranging from as low as 12 to as high as 18.5. Now I'm pretty certain that I'm not in the 18.5 range, but I can also guarantee you that I'm not in the 12 range. I'm probably somewhere in the middle, which is why I do all of these estimates. So when I average them, I come out to 15.375. That sounds accurate to me, actually. If I look at myself and I look at other people that are around 15%, it makes sense to me. I think 15 to 16 is a good estimate. Now, personally for me, I find the Navy formula always to get, very, very close to the average of these things. So if you really kind of press for time and all you have is a tape measure, just stick the Navy formula. If you have nothing, you don't have a tape measure, you don't have a body analyzer scale, stick with the visualization method. Pull up that picture chart. You can pause it in the video. You can Google it, whatever you want to do. And you should be able to accurately place yourself in there within a certain degree. And if you don't think you will because you're a little hard on yourself, maybe have somebody that you know and trust to kind of look at you and put you somewhere on that scale. Now, another thing I want to mention is your body fat percentage isn't actually that important to know unless you're getting, really lean. If you're above, 30% body fat, it may be hard to estimate and it's may not be worth it. Your goal right now should be cutting down until you're leaner. And if you really want a true accurate, the only way to do it is a DEXA scan. I know I mentioned this earlier, but basically a DEXA scan is like a giant X-ray that measures the fat off your body. They're very, very expensive, and I really don't recommend doing them that often unless you're someone like me who just really likes data. And I'm personally going to get one when I'm down to where I think is about 10% and see how close I was estimating it. And then I'll take pictures of myself that day as well. So in the future, I don't have to get one again. I can look at my body, then look back at those pictures and say, okay, I'm leaner than I was here, or I'm more than I was here. Because $150 every time you get them is very, very expensive in my opinion. But if you're the kind of person that has that money, hey, those are the most accurate way to go. But I hope you learned something here, and I hope it kind of satisfies your curiosity for your body fat percentage. Now I'm going to go ahead and close the video here. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button because it does help me out a lot. If you liked the video, leave it a like, and if you have any questions or comments for me, leave them in the comment section down there. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.